Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lounge. I'm so excited. I love this woman. You hear me say this all the time, and you're probably thinking to yourselves, okay, great. She loves somebody else. That's not new news. But you don't even understand. I met Catherine a while ago, and it just seems like over the years, our friendship every time just takes another turn for the better. So it's just with great pleasure that I am sharing Catherine with you today. And she's going to talk to us a bit about the thing that every single entrepreneur needs to be, and that is productive. So, welcome, Catherine. And I want to just shout out to these wonderful, beautiful ladies Power Lunch ladies who joined us over here on the Zoom call. I invite you guys, come on the Ladies Power Lunch show, and here is why. Couple of reasons. One, when you come on, you have an opportunity to introduce yourself, right? And then we take these and we post them on LinkedIn and we post them on YouTube. And sometimes our devious producer Mr. Williams, who may be related to somebody on this call, sometimes he might choose this call to be on our podcast. So you could be promoting your business in lots of different places that you don't even realize. So coming on the show is a great opportunity, definitely, to have some one on one time with our speaker, but it also is a great opportunity for you to just put in a quick little plug about your business. Let's have you guys just say who you are and what you do real quickly because we really want to dive into the meat of today's episode, which is Catherine sharing with us. So, Teresa, will you just share with us, please? Who are you and what do you do?
So I am Teresa and I own Teresa Nat Studio. And I help women entrepreneurs show up online as their authentic selves by creating photos and videos that are truly unique to them.
And I have seen a lot of your photos, and you are a true artist. And I'm looking forward to when things open up a little bit more, actually sitting with you and talking about you doing new photos for us at Ladies Power Lunch. So I'm really, really looking forward to that with great anticipation. Jamie is such a treasure, guys. If you need a VA, I am just going to put in a big plug for Jamie because she's done wonders to help us here at Ladies Power Lunch. Jamie, who are you? What do you do?
Oh, thank you so much. I am Jamie Williams. I am the owner of Coordinated Creativity Virtual Solutions. I help coaches with time and calendar management as well as project management so that they can have more time one on one with their clients.
I
I'm
love
glad to be
that.
here.
Love that because we do the thing that we do really, really well, and the things that are not our genius, we should allow Jamie to do those things. Hey, Carlene, I feel like I haven't seen you in a really long time. Tell everybody who you are and it is that you do in a as brief time as possible.
Okay. I am Carlene, and I have two tools to help enhance our lives. One of them is send out cards, which is now part of Greener Still. And what we do, we have a whole range of platforms and services to help people develop their relationships with themselves, others, and businesses. The other tool I have is with Nikan Wellness. It's non-invasive, non-medical energy technologies that help anyone get more energy and live more fully functional, as I put it, using some of these technologies. And I speak from the heart on that because I'm a substitute teacher and I've been very busy this year.
Mm-hmm. I understand totally. So, Catherine, welcome. Will you please share with everybody who you are and what it is that you do in the world?
I am Catherine Avery. I'm a productivity coach. I specialize in people who have brain means challenges or entrepreneurs who just have 50 tabs open in their brain at any given time. And I'm really psyched to be here. Thank you so much for asking me to be with all of you at the coffee break. I'm hoping you're going to have
Oh,
the questions.
well, here's the thing. I mean, when the thing that we really want to know is who is your ideal client? Like, we're all sitting here saying, okay, we have issues with productivity in our businesses, but who is it that you really can help? Like, when you sit down with this kind of person, you know for sure that what you're going to do with them is going to advance their business. Who's this person?
Most of them are women.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them do have ADHD or depression, anxiety. I've worked with someone who had traumatic brain injury many years prior. So this isn't like someone comes right out of the gate. They're still at the occupational therapy level. Those are not the folks I'm working with. And they're really looking to be more efficient in their businesses and more effective. They're frustrated, they're overwhelmed. They have that brain that has 50 tabs open at any given time, which I can totally relate to because that's me.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have undiagnosed ADHD. I haven't been diagnosed because I was ready to do the diagnosis just as the pandemic started. So, not much getting out, right? Um, so really, it's people who say things like this. I wish there were 27 hours in the day. I'm always late to my meeting. And that could be Zoom meetings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or I have so many Zoom meetings in a day, I'm overscheduled and I never get a break. That's a big one. And I found that really quickly at the beginning of the pandemic that folks were not making 45, 50-minute meetings. They were making an hour meeting and they were at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and there was no break. And in a traditional corporate environment, what would happen is you would go from one meeting to the next and they would end so that you had time to drop off the files at your desk, pick up the new files, maybe powder your nose, and grab a cup of coffee, and then go to your next meeting.
Maybe
Zoom
even take a bathroom break. I mean,
well, that's what I meant by powder your nose, right? That's the old fashioned way of saying a bathroom break. And you don't get that when you're on Zoom. And so it was funny. I would get into these debates with people about this. Well, you should never be late for a Zoom meeting. And well, then you need to end your Zoom meeting 45 minutes to 50 minutes so that I can take a break before my next meeting.
mm-hmm.
So it really helped me rethink how I do things. And I set up my scheduler. I happen to use Calendly. There are lots of great schedulers out there, such that there's a 15-minute break in between built in. Now, sometimes I choose to use 10 more minutes because I'm talking with someone wonderful and I want to stay on, but I'm always able to honor even a 5-minute break. Very, very important. Other folks are looking at their desks with stacks of paper everywhere. My latest client that just signed on is struggling because her husband died and there's tons of paperwork that needs to be done and she just doesn't want to motivate to do it. So it's got to be very hard. Those papers are emotionally charged, right? I mean, think about it. We're having to put together information that's required. Her husband died 2 years ago, but there's just still paperwork. So it's really about having a safe place to land, having someone you can trust, you can talk to, who can help you through whatever your productivity issues are, your challenges, while, giving you a safe space to be who you are and work towards your best solution. So I can sit here and say, oh, use this calendar thing, and you can hate it. So it's not one size fits all.
So I was wondering because, everything that we're dealing with now is probably a bit different from the things that we've been dealing with 2 years ago. So
Yes.
what's the number one thing that clients are coming to you complaining about since we've been in the pandemic?
How they balance life and work, because
Okay.
they're all working from home.
Yep.
And so now suddenly it's either, oh, I keep taking breaks to do laundry and make sure the kids are getting their schoolwork done. And not that there's anything wrong with that, because kids are very important. Or I'm going in and getting a snack, and then I'm going back to get a cup of coffee, and then I'm getting a cup of tea, and I'm not getting things done. So that's side one. Side two, and sometimes this goes back and forth, right? Side two is I'm not getting laundry done or getting anything else done because I'm locked in my office working 7 days a week. And I can tell you, guilty as charged. There have been times where I've been working 7 days a week because there's nothing else to do, right?
Yeah.
So we had to really get good about planning things. Like me and my husband saying, all right, on Friday afternoon for a few hours, we're going to go do something fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of work-life balance is the big issue I'm seeing people dealing with right now. Kids are kind of getting back to school, and that part seems to be somewhat normalizing, but not perfectly, but it's a very hard situation. I have a teenager. I'm very lucky. She just is self-sufficient. I don't really have to, I don't have to take care of her, but I can imagine, if I had a 5-year-old in a pandemic, it's really hard.
Yep. I have one of those, so I know what you're talking about. And imagine doing kindergarten online, guys. Not cool. It's just not.
No, it's really hard. And I mean, the teachers, the gal who tutors my daughter is a kindergarten teacher.
Hmm.
It's just nuts
It's
getting these kids to
crazy.
like sit still.
Can I give you an example?
Sure.
My little one, he decided to push Play-Doh into the charger port. And so now his school computer cannot be charged. He's a kindergartner. What are you going to do? He has Play-Doh. He's going to see where it can go.
Yeah, they're kids. And were you able to dig the Play-Doh out?
We are in the process.
One option is to take it to Best Buy. They have the Geek Squad.
Okay. This
But I mean, you have
happened
to pay
this
for it,
morning.
but you know,
Yeah.
it might be worth not having the struggle.
Yep. But it is
So
crazy.
he's
It is
not at school
crazy.
today?
No, because it's Easter, so they're
Oh,
off
yeah, yeah, yeah.
today. Yeah.
That was so lucky you.
Yes, I know. This
It
was the
is.
way
It's
I
these
started
kinds of
my day,
issues.
guys. Yay.
This is what it is. And but here you are. You're showing up, you're making this happen, you're doing the video recording, and this is just how our lives are now. You know, it's a constant shifting back and forth, and it's not easy. I don't know if you know this. Every time you're interrupted at work, you lose at least 10 minutes of productive time.
Time, yes.
Productivity time. What? No. Productive time. I stumble on the word I use all the time.
You just muted yourself.
There we go.
I don't know what happened. Was that you or me?
I don't know. Technology.
Technology. Anyway, squirrel. There's Play-Doh on the microphone. That's my story. I'm gonna
I
stick it to
know.
it.
So
I think
tell me,
Play-Doh looks
Catherine,
good.
what when your clients are coming to you with these kinds of issues, how are you supporting them? What advice would you have for us? Because this is something that's affecting everybody.
So the advice I have is to take a deep breath, put your oxygen mask on first. And that's very hard, right? It's very hard because you're scrambling with the Play-Doh and the laptop and getting them set up at school and doing the work. But I think our kids really benefit from seeing us take care of ourselves. It's how they learn it's okay for them to take care of themselves. So for me, I get up super early in the morning. I'm a morning person. Not everybody is. And I have my quiet time alone. I get my cup of tea and I meditate or I journal or I take a nice power walk. You know, when I say gratitudes when I power walk, I really try to set my day up for success in the mornings. Because whatever energy you bring to your day first thing in the morning is kind of the energy you take all day long.
Yes.
So it's really important that we take care of ourselves first thing. Because we may not any other time of the day. You know, if I say, oh, I'm going to work out at noon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's probably not going to happen. So if I work out first thing in the morning, then I got my workout in and I got something for me. And I think that's really super important. You know, as much as you can, if you're, got a spouse, date. Even if that date looks like, this is really cute. We did this when our daughter was little. Friday nights, I would make a nicer dinner. I would not eat with the baby. I would wait till my husband came home and we would eat dinner together. We would light candles and sit in the family room on the floor and have like a little picnic dinner. And it just us. And, I'd wait till she was asleep because, she was little. She'd go to sleep at like 7:30. So you can find creative ways to date. Or to go out with friends and that's a little harder now. I mean, there's, I guess, Zoom cocktail hours. But it's just really important. I think the other thing is to have, and this is going to sound so old fashioned, to have a Sabbath, have a full day. You don't work at all. That doesn't mean you're not going to go on any social media or whatever. I'm not getting hardcore here, but definitely have a full day where you don't work at all. And I really had to learn this because it's easy to work all the time when you're working from home. Having a door helps close the door.
That's true. That's true. It is. It is. And I have even found that it's also easy because I'm doing two things. I'm seeing patients in the day and then I'm also supporting us for Ladies Power Lunch. And I find myself like late at night now, something I would never do before the pandemic. Late at night, I'm like doing Ladies Power Lunch things. And I look and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. That's crazy.
Aren't you tired?
No.
So I took yesterday afternoon off because I'm just a bit exhausted. I had the second COVID shot last Friday, and I
Okay.
definitely didn't feel like I'd recovered from it. And I had to powerhouse to get away. So I said, I'm going to just take some time off. And I binge watched Grey's Anatomy. And I was so wrapped up into it at 1 o'clock this morning. I was like, I have to go to bed. But I was having fun. And it was
Awesome.
really fun. And I never do things like that. I don't binge watch anything, but I just needed to completely unplug and not be working, because I'm always working, you know?
So, what I'm taking from what you're saying is that the downtime is as important as the time that we spend working. And if we keep going and going and going, that's actually not going to be productive for us. Is that what you're really saying here?
So yes, being unproductive is my mantra. I think we can be most productive by actually being intentionally unproductive, having moments where we completely step away from having to do it all and just be. And there was one more thing I was going to say on that, and it just went right out of my head. But it really makes a difference when we step back and take care of ourselves, however that looks. And, now in the pandemic, it looks different than it used to. It used to be that we ladies would go and get our nails done and our hair done. And now maybe it's, your kids, you have boys, right?
Boys, yep.
Yeah. So they're not going to be into this. But if you have girls, you guys can do a little spa night. My daughter would fill up her tub and get out the bubble bath. And, we'd wash feet in the tub and like do a little spa thing. It was very cute. So, maybe that's different for the boys. They probably don't want a spa, but maybe they do.
They might. We've never tried it. I'm not opposed to it, trying it at all. I want to just take a moment to say hi to our ladies over in our Ladies Power Lunch Facebook group and say thank you for joining. If you guys have any questions for Catherine, feel free to post it in the chat, either here or over on Facebook. So, Catherine, this is unfortunately just a 30-minute show. And you and we could talk about this for hours and hours on end, and it would still be super exciting. So, what I would like to ask you is give us the bullet points, the do's and the don'ts for being productive in our business now that we're home, now that we're in quarantine, now that we're in a pandemic.
The most important do is to create a priority list of just 3 things you want to accomplish today. Now, you might do that in the evening as you're leaving your desk. You might do it first thing in the morning when you get to your desk. Big part of what I teach is that everybody's different. We're all wired differently, but it's really great if you can sit down and write down 3 priorities you want to do today. When I'm working with my clients, we have a 90-day plan, and we have 3 big picture priorities, one of which is always self-care. So you might want to use that as one of your things, 2 work priorities and 1 self-care priority, whatever that might look like. Have a way that you keep track of your projects, whether that's a project management software. I used to use Asana. Now I use Todoist. Some folks really love Trello. It's very visual. I also map out all my projects using color-coded Post-it notes on a calendar stuff out, really see what's a goal you have that we just started the second quarter. What's your second quarter goal? What's your dream by June 30th? Now map it out backwards. All right, I want to have my book written or my story written. I want to launch a podcast. Work backwards and chunk it all down into manageable steps. You want to have successes and wins. And if you're saying today I'm going to create a podcast and that's your goal for today, it's likely you're not going to succeed. I don't mean it meanly, but if your goal for today is I'm going to research a name for my podcast, you're going to succeed at that, right? That's going to be great. And then tomorrow it could be, I'm going to get that domain name on the website. GoDaddy. I was trying to think of the name. So that's just really chunk it down and make it into manageable steps. Life gets lifey. Stuff comes up and you're digging the Play-Doh out of the socket, and suddenly that thing you were hoping to get done today isn't happening because you're off doing that. So keep it in really manageable steps. I think those are probably the two best time managements. The last one is to have a sense of what your rhythms of your day are. We're all wired differently. And I'm an early morning person. I have a very dear friend who's a night person, and she is up at 2 o'clock in the morning being super creative. And I'm just like, oh, if anyone's waking me up at 2 a.m., they're going to die. I'm up at 6 a.m. at the latest. So I really want to be very sound asleep by like 11 p.m. So one of the ways you can do this is you could do like a time tracker, and you just need to do it for 3 days, not while you're on vacation, because that's different timing. Write down in every half-hour segment what you're doing. You'll get a quick sense of how much time you might be playing Candy Crush or surfing social media or whatever. And if that's your downtime and it's not in the middle of your work time, that's fine. Go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But you'll get a really good sense after tracking your time for 3 days of where you're spending in time and where you could be more efficient. I have a podcast, and I actually did this exact exercise specifically around the podcast. And I looked at exactly how much time I was spending where, and I saw all these inefficiencies. And so I automated and systematized some things. Jamie is very helpful at doing those things. So I know my VA was very helpful in helping me put together the systems and the back end procedures to make it a lot more efficient. There are places where we're at the bottleneck as we run our businesses. And it's great if we can just take a look at them in a nice, gracious, kind way. And maybe that is talking to a coach while you're figuring that out. And that's what the coach is there for, is really to act as a mirror to help you assess and hold you in a really safe space.
Awesome. I love those. Give us a couple of things that we should absolutely avoid. Just don't do them. That's out of the question. No.
Don't jump on the gravy train of something just because everybody else is doing it.
Absolutely.
But I give you the perfect example, Clubhouse. I love Clubhouse. I think it is an awesome platform, and it's going to be life-changing for so many people. And I joined on December 26th. I got really actively involved with it for a couple of weeks. And then I stepped back and I reassessed where I'm at in my business right now. And I'm on a big push to network with people via LinkedIn. And I stepped back from Clubhouse. Please know, I love Clubhouse. I think it is a great tool, but you need a strategy and a plan, and put boundaries on your time. You know, your time is so precious. I mean, I don't know if y'all know, I'm a cancer survivor. Time is so incredibly precious, and you can't ever get it back. So if Clubhouse is what you want to do, go for it. If LinkedIn is what you want to do, whatever it is, have a plan, find your people and go after them with a plan. So the don't just jump on something without thinking it through with the plan and wasting your time, spinning your wheels because someone else is doing it and you think, that you have to do it too.
Awesome. Any final words of wisdom for us? Just the one thing that you want us to really focus on. If we remember nothing else from our conversation today, focus on this thing.
That to be productive, you need to learn how to be intentionally, keyword there is the intention, unproductive. Really take care of yourself. Aww, Jamie's got a visitor.
Oh, beautiful.
See, that's what life is about right there. It's just try to find the balance. Sometimes it's that we're working like crazy. Sometimes it's we're really involved with our families, but just keep plugging away each day because each day is beautiful. It's a gift.
Absolutely. I love all of those things, and I absolutely support that message. People are going to want to reach out to you because they absolutely see the value of working with somebody that can help them to be strategic and be more productive. So how can people find you?
They can find me at my website, productivitybydesign.com. And if they want to schedule time to talk with me, just a coffee chat, no strings attached, 30 minutes, callwithcatherine.com, and Catherine's with a C. So callwithcatherine.com. And I have a podcast. So if you want to check me out completely free, just to see what I'm about and hear people being interviewed and whatnot, that is the Uncluttered Office. And it's on all the channels, iTunes, Stitcher.
What is the premise of your podcast?
The Uncluttered Office is about, it started really as it was just going to be strategies around having an uncluttered office, and it's really become more like have an uncluttered mind. So it's various people coming on and talking about productivity. And sometimes it's a wellness person like you. Sometimes it's a person who's another coach, organizers. I really run the gamut. The most recent one, which is really exciting, it's going to drop next week, is a gentleman named Joseph Rosenfeld, who is a stylist.
Ooh.
So that was super fun to talk about getting in our closets. I just finished a 3-week, 6-podcast mini series, which is my program taken down to the most simple, 10 minutes each one. And that has dropped already. So that's just come out. There's my first ever mini series.
I love that you're doing mini series. We do many different series over the time that we've been doing our podcast. So I'm looking forward to seeing where your podcast will fit in on the schedule. But a certain Mr. Williams will be the one who will be able to tell us all of that.
I hope you come on mine. I'd love you to be my guest.
I am absolutely open to all these invitations to come on podcasts. It's really great. And I'm just going to plug collaboration here. It's really a great opportunity for me to be on your podcast and you to be on my podcast and everybody to be on everybody's podcast, because that's how we extend our reach and that's how we grow our influence. So I thank you for the invitation and I look forward to it. Catherine, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we're right up on time. I want to thank you for taking the time to come chat with us today. I want to say thank you to all the women who joined us over on Ladies Power Lunch. Lynn is over here saying, I need an uncluttered office. That's amazing. So I hope you guys will connect. Thank you to ladies who joined us here on Zoom. It's always great to have some people in the room who can be supportive of our show. And I want to say to you that we are looking over the next couple of months at just solutions that we can share with our audience about things that will help us to be better during this special time that we're going through. So really, really appreciate you coming on today and sharing this with us. I want to say thank you to our sponsors. For Ladies Power Lunch, we have eWomen Network, we have the Green Heart Living Company, and we have Mary Kay. So support our sponsors, please. And thank you again. Everybody have a great rest of the day. And I see you guys on the next show at 1:00. Bye.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Davia.
Thank you. Bye.